Hey, what's up? This is Neil Napier here. Just give me a very quick one if you can hear me okay. And two, as of now, you should see me on the screen. I'll bring up the slides very soon, but I want to make sure you can hear me okay. And Ijlal as well. So Ijlal's in the house, and he's joining me to tell you more about PodGorilla today. Because
Super
of course, that is why you're
excited.
here. Also, let me know what part of the world. Yep, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Always good to know where our folks are from. So let me just see. Quick rundown. We've got Jim, I've got the Investor Store, Tommy, Palma, Terry, Anderson. Hey, Neil, looking and sounding great. Fantastic. CD Wall says one. Jim says from the UK. New York says Clonardini. CD Wall says Colorado. I'm in Finland, of course, as you know. I mean, it's always cold here, but now we're really getting into the cold weather. But right now, it's like rainy. I'll say it's not much fun because when you're driving and it's like super dark and it's rainy, it's kind of hard to see people. So you got to be very careful. Paula says very curious about this. Paula, we're really excited to show you some of the things that we want to show you today. We are, this is something we'll talk about this, of course, but this is something we've been working for a good part of a year now, and not just developing, but actually testing and using and giving it to our customers to try and break and make money with as well. And we've got results I want to talk to you about today too. I'm not getting any audio, says Mitch. If I say something, that's not really going to help. But Ijlal, if you could type for him to just kind of check his audio settings, that'd be great. Ron from Montreal, Canada. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the slides now, and throughout this, me and Ijlal are going to jump in and out with you to explain to you what's the new opportunity, how you can make money by doing, I'd say it's not a new thing, but with a new way, which makes it hands-off and easy and possible for you to now automate as much of it as you want. Does it also work in different languages? So, Andres, I'll tell you this, like, again, you'll see a demo and everything. We've only tried and tested in English. It does work exceptionally well. Theoretically, it works in other languages too, but we haven't had the chance to push and test that yet, but that is coming down the pipeline as well. So I know you're asking because you've seen something about it, and I will show you that.
We do
but
have
just know that a lot of the testing that we've
someone
done,
who's been using it in German, so at least it's tested in that.
Okay, that's pretty good. That is fantastic. So we're going to be showing you that as well today. So I'm going to turn off my webcam because I want to focus on the slides that are on the screen now. I want to focus on showing you how you can basically add $5,000 a month if you want more, if you want less. It's up to you depending on how much time and effort you want to put in without actually hiring a single person. And I want to emphasize this last part about hiring a single person because I don't know if you've been noticing the news that most of the companies, Accenture, Deloitte, I mean, any company that you can put your finger on these days, Amazon, they're letting people go, right? I don't know which part of the world you're in precisely. I mean, there's people from all parts of the world, but the economy in most parts of the world is not doing too well. So we are at a stage where, because of a lot of mismanagement, partly because of AI, a lot of people are being let go. And that puts us all in a very, very difficult position where we have to basically make ends meet, where we have to build a business in times when everything is getting expensive. So this is something I want to emphasize today is what I'm going to share with you. We've done with the intent of minimizing your costs as much as possible. The idea being that once you have this, once you're up and running, you will not have a lot of monthly recurring costs. You won't have to pay $1,000, $2,000 a month just to hire a person to work with you. And even you doing this yourself is very easy. It's very simple. It's very straightforward for you to do. So what you're going to see today is an AI-powered system that turns existing content into premium podcast services that you can create and sell to clients, where you can charge $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month, whatever you want. You don't need recording studio for that, so you don't need to go out and book a recording studio to do this. You don't need audio engineers, and you also do not need voice talent, right? So this is quite easy for anyone to execute, basically, as long as they are simply doing what we instruct you to do on this session today. So make sure as you're watching this, you take notes, you ask questions, because you're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to see different ways in which you can build a service on top of this. Now, before we go any further into kind of what this actually does, I want to give you an example of Debbie Davis. I think I'm missing, let me just see, missing something. Some words are missing, I think. But Debbie Davis basically ran an agency selling podcasting services. And she was a 3D communications engineer and in Denver, Colorado. And basically, when she was working on podcasts, this is how it typically went for her. Now, for the last 8 years or so, she's been running a traditional podcast production company. And for most part, because of the costs involved with running studios, with hiring audio engineers, editing, and all those things, she was stuck at break-even revenue despite strong demand from the market. So she was getting a lot of clients, she was getting a lot of outcome, but because of the costs associated with it, she was primarily running into a bit of a problem financially. And like I said, the cost and the manual processes did take too long and they cost too much money as well. So she had a 5-member team. It's not massive, but it's big enough. She had a 5-member team, as well as then she had a 21-step process. And when you're implementing a 21-step process, it can be quite time consuming. It can definitely take a lot out of you. So in that sense, Debbie had something good, but it wasn't quite profitable. She had to turn away clients because she was at a limit to actually handle all the work. Now, when she switched over to using AI for podcast production, it took her about 2 months to implement everything. And again, this is before we had PodGorilla. So when she switched over to using AI for a lot of the processes that she was otherwise doing manually, her podcast production efficiency increased 3x. So she was now able to produce podcasts, 3 times as many podcasts. So let's say it took her like 1/3 of the time it would take to create, which meant she had capacity for more clients. It meant that she could expand beyond podcasts and offer additional marketing services beyond those as well. It allowed her to go from basically survival mode to a growth planning mode, or let's say I call it like thriving mode, where she could make more money by offering more services to clients. And the difference in everything that she was doing, she knew podcasting worked. She knew that this was something that she could get clients for all the time. But once she started doing this using AI, the big difference was that everything was much smoother, everything was much faster, there was very little friction. So again, one little change changed the entire trajectory of her business. And the change, of course, we're talking about is AI podcasting. And I'm going to show you today how you can copy and paste that in your business as well. Now, in case of Debbie, she did do this thing differently, which is again what I want to highlight for you so that you're able to do this for yourself as well. But she adopted AI to supercharge the podcast production. Now, look, I love AI, but I think most of us still end up using AI for just basic content production on ChatGPT or Claude or something like this. It never really goes beyond that. I mean, maybe if you actually are experimental, you go to Google and you type something, and Google will give you an AI response. That's as far as most of us go. But Debbie went further. This is how she did this. She didn't replace her team completely, right? So she wasn't like Accenture, Deloitte, or Amazon, or these other companies that said, I'm going to fire people. No, she trained her team to do things faster with AI, right? That's the trick, to do things faster with AI. She did not lower her prices. Not for a second she thought, okay, now I can do stuff faster, so I'm going to lower my prices. Because, when you start lowering your prices, they're raised to the bottom because someone else is going to lower them even further, and then so on and so forth. So she didn't do that. She didn't work more hours. All she did was she added AI to multiply her output. That's all she did. And now I've got a rhetorical but an important question for you. Debbie's case study sounds pretty good, right? Who wouldn't want to be Debbie, where you've got a business that's performing, or maybe someone who doesn't have a business that's performing, but they want to add AI into it and they want to make more money with it? Who wouldn't like to do that? So would you want to duplicate Debbie's success? Type in a yes if you would. I want to see a lot of yeses right now because I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to you loud and clear. Type in lots of yeses so you can understand why it's important to leverage what AI is offering you, just like Debbie did, so you can do that in your business as well. Hank says yes from Kansas. Hank, fantastic to see you. Now look, I'm not going to ask you to fix your current services. I'm not going to say, hey, look, you got to change what you're doing right now. I do not want you to change anything that you're doing in your day-to-day life right now, right? This is an important thing. You come to these sessions and people say, stop doing whatever you're doing right now and do this instead. No, It is okay to continue doing whatever you're doing. If you enjoy doing that, keep doing it. But this is something you can add so that you can start charging reasonably good high ticket prices. Now, what's reasonably good for some people in some parts of the world, 500 a month is really good because that will cover your rent. For some, 1,500 a month, 2,000 a month is great because that will, let you go on a holiday. So whatever the case may be, I want to enable you basically to go out there and start offering services that pay you decent amount of money. Okay, so with that being said, today we're going to focus on how you can offer authority as a service, right? You've probably heard of software as a service, content as a service, service as a service, like all these different things. But I want to talk to you about authority as a service. You got to understand this. In today's market, there is so much noise out there with social media posts, with AI-based videos, faceless videos, as you see on YouTube and all the other places right now, that it's lacking authority. The content lacks the ability to make the speaker, the presenter, as the perceived authority. So if you go to a client and say, hey, let me do your social media marketing, they'd be like, hey, come stand in a line. There's like 10 people before you who are offering the same thing. If you go to a client and say, hey, let me do your blog post writing, they will again say, come stand in a queue because there's 10 people standing before you, right? But if you go to a client and say, hey, let me help you become an authority figure in your niche, in your market. That could be local, that could be in a city like New York. It could be in an online niche like losing weight for, men in the age of 40 to 50, whatever the case may be. But you can, if you do this right, help them become authority figure in their market. Which, when you promise that, instead of like, I'm going to do social media content for you, I'm going to do videos for you, I'm going to do funnels for you, when you do that, you're commoditized. Everyone else is doing it. But when you go to someone and says, hey, I'm going to build you as an authority by using premium podcasts. When you say all that, you get paid far, far more. And to do this, you don't need any equipment. You don't need to hire anyone, as I've said before, and you do not need to do any recording yourself as well. Now, let me present the numbers here, and please note, again, FTC disclaimer and all that. Everything I'm showing you on this webinar are things that are working for us quite well, but the results may vary. If you go ahead and execute the same things I'm going to show you, your results may vary, and that's okay. It all comes down to, what kind of effort you're putting in. Some of it is luck as well, but I'm showing you what works for me, and I hope that you're able to duplicate these steps for yourself. So let's say if you were to just get 3 clients a month at $1,500 a month, that'd be $4,500 a month. But the reality is that most agencies, especially once they become established, not on day one, right? So if you've been doing it for a few months, if you're established, if you have a few clients, getting new clients becomes easier once you have a few because of word of mouth. Most agencies typically land 5 to 10 clients in the first 90 days, which means that they walk away with anywhere between $7,500 to $10,500 a month. And look, Debbie is not alone. I want to show you some other examples of businesses, of agencies making money by offering podcasting as a service. So this is Dan Sanchez. He went from 2 weeks per episode to 90 minutes per episode. So typically to record a podcast episode, it would take him 2 weeks, make sure that people come in and make sure he has good content, blah, blah, blah. And for him, he was now able to shrink that time down to about 90 minutes, right? The process was much, much simpler. Carol Cox basically was able to create 400 podcasts using an AI-based system that was able to very quickly establish her as an authority. Like, imagine for a second doing 1 new podcast episode a day for the next 365 days. I don't care what market you're in, I'm quite confident you'll be an authority figure no matter where you go, right? That will be your business card. You won't have to give your name or email address. You just show, hey, look at my podcast, there's 365 episodes, and there's, 1 million views or something over time, right? Another one, Bospark Productions. It's a leading German podcast production company with AI enhancement, and they've gotten very, very positive feedback on the podcast quality as well. And then there's another one, Content Allies. They've got a $65,000 MRR B2B podcast production setup, right? So again, they are doing exceptionally well. They have 20 active podcast clients, I believe. So they're more than 500 episodes released, and it's a 3-employee team. So imagine it's a 3-employee team. They're making $75,000 a month. from 20 active clients. So I think the opportunity is there for you to take, even if you don't have any technical skill set, you do this in the leanest way possible and without a lot of overheads. So here's what you're going to discover today. On this session, I'm going to show you the authority gap detector, which is 3 questions that you can ask, which will reveal which businesses are losing $5,000 a month to better position competitors. I'm also going to show you live, I mean, I say me, but Israel's going to show you to undersell themselves. A lot of people say, Neil, I'm going to start at 500 a month, and then slowly I'll scale to 1,500 a month. I'll explain to you why it's better to have 1 client at 1,500 a month than 3 crappy clients at 500 a month. That's important as well. Then I'll actually walk you through our client acquisition system, which, is something that you can execute no matter what you're selling. But if you are doing podcast as a service, it's going to fit really well, like Legos or Tetris, if you ever played Tetris, previously. And I'm going to show you real agency case studies as well, how agencies are earning $1,500 per client with podcast authority services. But before we begin, I do want you to turn off distractions. I know the kind of world we live in, like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, these things are very common. You probably have some news playing in the background where you want to make sure you don't miss something important. I can promise you all of that will be there 90 minutes or 2 hours later. You're not going to miss out anything big in the world in the next 90 to 120 minutes. But if you do miss this out, if you don't ask the questions when you know you should, then you may most likely miss out on an opportunity that, dare I say, could be life-changing for you, on an opportunity that could set you on a path that you always thought you could be on, but you've tried hard, you've worked hard, but you're still not there. So again, silence your phones. This, what I'm going to show you, changes your revenue model, close all of the tabs and programs, grab something for notes if you want. You'll want to reference this later as well, and give me 90 focus minutes, and I promise I'll give you the best of my 90 minutes as well, right? I'll bring the best energy I can. I'll bring all the answers that you need to make sure you understand that this is something that could potentially add $90,000 to $126,000 in revenue every year to your business. And again, I want to be clear on this. The mileage may vary. Some of you are going to do less than this. Some of you are going to do more than this. Most of you are going to fall in this bracket because of like the bell curve and statistics. But my job is to show you what we do, what our students do, and then what is possible for you to do as well. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Neil Napier, and I'm joined here with Israel. He spoke up a little bit, but you know what? I'll let him talk a little bit, very, very briefly, about Content Gorilla. You may have heard of it, but Israel and I have been working together for the last 10 years, and we finally had the chance to actually briefly about your background. What got you into all of this? What have you been doing for the last 10 years?
Yep. So, well, Neil and I, we've been working together on Content Gorilla, which originated as a WordPress plugin called Contentio. We built that tool. AI came. We integrated AI into Content Gorilla. It's been an exciting period of roughly 6 years now, where we have been constantly working on growing Content Gorilla. And during this period, we have improved the tool. We've had 25,000 happy and satisfied customers, and it's been an incredible journey working on Content Gorilla and just with Gorilla AI in general, and of course Neil. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing connecting with you in Dubai as well. I think it was last week, but yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a while ago already, doesn't it? At least to me it does. But I can tell you this as well, that Ijlal and I, both Ijlal especially doesn't work on a lot of products, because when he works on something, he fully dedicates himself to that. And again, Content Gorilla as a SaaS platform has been around since 2019. It's for 2025 now, so 6 years, coming up to 7 next year. And then after a long time, when he saw what was possible with podcasts, he wanted to develop PodGorilla, which is what you're going to see today. And again, I mean, between the both of us, we have an incredible track record of what we do as vendors. And this is why we wanted to bring you something today, which again, you're going to see in its full glory, and show you what is possible. But let me tell you why this is the perfect time to be pushing out podcasts. Like, I don't know about you, but I went to the gym this morning, and instead of listening to music, which I typically do, I was listening to a podcast, right? I was listening to a podcast about how passive income is a myth. It was a very interesting podcast where this woman was saying, until you get to $1 million in sort of your net worth, don't go for passive income, which I think is quite true. Of course, we as marketers keep telling you like it's push button and all that, but she was like, even if it's push button, you're gonna have to sit there and push the button. And if something breaks, you're gonna have to go and like fix it, or at least contact support. So I'm always listening to podcasts as well. To me, I can't even tell apart a real person talking to AI talking right now. Things have come such a long way, and I think it's incredible that a lot of agency users have now started offering podcasting as a service as well. So when I was talking about Debbie earlier, for example, that is not a random example. There's a reason why we talked about Debbie. And I want to show you that basically what's happening in the market is that a lot of businesses, as I mentioned, are moving away from, okay, I'll take social media posts, and they're moving into, okay, help me build authority, right? Help me be seen as the expert in the market that I'm in. And I think that's where podcasting is showcasing a massive boom. Like, I'll show you some numbers, and this will help you understand this better. So there's 464 million global podcast listeners at the moment. It's growing at 10% annually, right? And it's not just on Spotify. A lot of podcasts are being listened to on YouTube now. They're being listened to on iTunes and other places as well. The advertising in podcasting market is at $2.3 billion, and it's going up 26% year on year. Like, I don't know if you know this, but when you run a podcast, you can run ads as well, right? In the podcast, someone can pay you for sponsorship, and you can run those ads as well. And 78% of businesses want podcasts, but they can't afford traditional production, right? I've looked at podcast studios, and to book one here for me locally will be about a couple of €100, so about $225 an hour. And that's a lot, because you don't just book it for an hour, you book it for like 4 hours, and then you have to fly in someone for audio management, someone for video recording, if that's what you're doing as well. So it ends up being costly, right? So traditional podcast production can easily run you from $2,000 to $5,000 per episode, including how much you pay other people as well. So I feel there's a big gap in affordable and professional podcasting services. And you are, just by being the virtue of being on this session today, you are in a prime position to fill this $1 billion gap. And if you don't believe me about the gap, this is what the authority economy looks like right now. If you go to Google right now, don't do it yet, but just look at my screen. If you go to Google and search for best CRM software, you'll get 847 million results. If you Google best marketing consultant, you'll get 1.2 billion results. The problem is, businesses are invisible in search and social. Right? Businesses are invisible. They're not getting noticed at all. So authority, if you can help them build authority, that's the solution. And you do that with podcasts. Because typically, when you do podcasts, it's not like 3-second videos or 15-second videos on Instagram and TikTok and all the social media. When people listen to podcasts, they sit down and listen, or they're driving and listening, or they're doing something and listening. Right? So there's a much higher attention span. And voice builds trust 6 times better, faster than text. If you go read a blog post, I can promise you, you won't remember it the next day or the next week. But if you listen to a podcast, I can promise you, some of it is going to go deeper in your brain. Some of it you're going to internalize, some of it you're going to use. So the amount of information a customer absorbs from a podcast is much higher than reading a blog post or text, right? And if you're a podcast host, automatic expert positioning, right? So if you are presenting something, immediately people think of you as an expert. Your podcast show up in Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And if you have authority, you can present premium pricing power. So the opportunity is massive, but most businesses are missing it. Why? Because they are invisible. Now let me show you the hidden problem that costs them a lot of money every month, which is, of course, as I mentioned, is the authority gap. It's that they are good at something that they do, but people don't know about it, right? I'm sure you have that too. You're exceptionally good at this one thing that you do. I don't know what that is. Maybe you're great at teaching people, about self-defense. Maybe you're really, really good at reading trading charts and all those things, and you want to make money teaching that to people. Maybe you're really good at affiliate marketing. Maybe you're really good at B2B lead gen. But if someone doesn't know about it, you don't get paid, right? If a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, did the tree actually fall? So same way, there's an authority gap that we're trying to fix, and that's a gap between the expertise level and where the perceived authority in the market is. And when that happens, these businesses lose clients to better positioned competitors. They can't price as much as they want, and their sales cycles are much, much longer. Why is it that a small startup who wants to close enterprise clients struggles compared to, say, Microsoft or Nvidia or these companies that just go in and close someone? It's because Microsoft and these other companies have authority. A small startup that might be doing the same thing and maybe even better does not. Your job is to help these businesses build authority so that they can close that authority gap. And you do that with podcasts. Now, I promised you earlier that I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can ask these businesses that are going to diagnose whether or not they are losing money. And this is what you do. Question number 1, go to any business, and you can even send a cold email. You can, if you're going to a networking event, you can shake their hand, talk to them, and ask them this thing. When someone Googles your service in your city, for example, do you show up in the top 5 results? Most will say no, obviously, right? It's a numbers game, and most will say no. Do you have content that positions you as the expert that people listen to for more than 15 minutes? Like if I was to go online right now, if I was to search for you, your business, would you come up as an expert, and would you have a content piece for, say, more than 10, 15 minutes that someone could listen to? Most would say no, because they haven't invested any time in it. When prospects compare you to competitors, do they perceive you as the obvious premium choice? Or are you the de facto discounted Black Friday sale thing that they will get access to one day when your prices go low enough? Or do they look at you as like, I'd like to work with this business one day? Now, if they answer no to any of these questions, and I want you to ask these questions with confidence, if they answer no to any of these questions, then they have an authority gap which is costing them a lot of money every month, and you have an opportunity to charge them to fix that authority gap. And the reason why podcasts close the authority gap is because when you do podcasts, they show up on Apple, they show up on Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and all the other places. With podcasts, typically there's a deep engagement. So again, we're not looking at them for 3, 5, 10 seconds at a time. People are listening to them for 15, 20, 30 minutes. I've listened to podcasts that are 2, 3 hours long. When you do that, you build a trust. When you build a trust as a podcast host, it allows you to sell easily, sell faster, sell better. But again, I think I've established by now podcasts are great. We should be doing them. You should be offering them as a service. But the problem becomes, how do you do it? Because again, we've established this. Traditional podcasting production is expensive and complex. It costs a lot of money. There's a lot of money you need to spend on hiring equipment, engineers, professional voice talent. You got to spend time to edit the audio that comes out. You got to spend time and money on publishing and distribution. And it's just really, really cumbersome process. So most businesses give up before publishing even episode number 3. What's changed in all of this now, thankfully, is AI revolution. Now, I'd like to take credit for that. I'd like to say I created this, but I didn't. Companies that are better than me, bigger than me, OpenAI, Claude, and all these companies, they did an exceptional job at creating the right infrastructure so I can stand in front of you today and tell you that it is now possible for you to create 15, 30-minute long podcasts if you want, or even longer, using as little technical things as you need. So the last 2 years have had massive breakthroughs in AI voice synthesis, completely indistinguishable from human. There's been great advancement in content generation, audio production automation, as well as publishing platform integration. So all this means that the barrier to entry to creating a new podcast episode has collapsed from $5,000 to close to zero. I'm not saying it's zero exactly, because of course you still pay for usage, but it's close to zero. So what would typically take you a week or 2 weeks of time now takes you about 10 minutes using what I'm going to show you today, and it doesn't cost you anywhere near what you would pay for a typical episode. But there is something I need to warn you about, and that is the window of opportunity. When you come across something new, when you typically come across something which is like fresh, it works, the window of opportunity is typically very small. Right, so right now as you're watching this, you have what we call a first mover advantage. Most agencies don't know this is possible. Businesses desperately need authority positioning. Competition is still figuring out AI, and you can, if you move fast enough, own the AI podcast authority agency positioning in your market. I'm not saying it's going to last forever. I'm not saying that 2 years later you could still position yourself as this. It's only something that is available now. And a lot of businesses that have an authority gap need this service. Professional services, healthcare providers, financial advisors, coaches, trainers, real estate agents, home services providers, e-commerce businesses, SaaS businesses, local retail businesses, all of them need to fill this authority gap. Literally every business that is starting out that has a bit of money, maybe they've raised funding, maybe they have money from before, they need to fill this authority gap so they can grow. To fill that and to do that exceptionally well, we have built something that allows you to help other businesses, your clients basically, build authority as a service system that makes all of this possible. Now, I'm going to introduce you to PodGorilla, which is the AI-powered platform that creates professional podcasts in minutes, not weeks. You're going to see real examples. You're going to see real proof of how this all works. And to do this, again, you don't need to do recording. You don't need to do any editing. You do not need any technical skills. What I'm about to demonstrate is real-time AI podcast production with professional broadcast quality using AI voices. And you're going to see it in the next, I don't know, I think 10 to 15 minutes. We'll let Israel do his thing, how you can transform a simple idea, a simple blog post, whatever you want, into premium podcast episodes in under 10 minutes. But again, I got to warn you about this. After seeing this, you will never view podcast production the same way. Maybe you're coming into the session, you're thinking, oh, Neil, the idea sounds really, really good, but I just, I've looked at it before, I've studied it, just takes too long. I'm going to blow your mind today, or rather, Israel's going to blow your mind today. So comment yes if you want to see this system in action. And what I'll do is I'll pass it over to Israel. Hopefully there's no issues with connection, because usually when you move from one person to the other, there can be connection issues. But type in as many yeses as you can, and I can show you what is possible what you can do with PodGorilla. Okay, lots of yeses coming in. So let me pass it over. I'm going to do this right now. And I do hope it comes through fine. If it doesn't, we'll have to deal with that after. So Israel, when you're ready, take it away.
All right, if you guys can see my screen, can you give me a quick one in the chat? You should be looking at a very sexy looking dashboard of the PodGorilla app. If you can see that, give me a one in the chat. Okay, I see ones coming in, so we should be all good here. Now, before I actually dive in and show you each and every single feature in detail, I just want to quickly glance over how fast and easy it is to actually create podcast episodes, to be specific, with PodGorilla once you have everything set up. So let's go ahead and create a new episode, and I just want to do like a quick test thing. Let's say I want to create an episode about World War I, and I'm just going to call it WW1. Now this particular podcast that I'm creating the episode for right now is just a historical podcast, right? So it talks about history topics, so it's very relevant here. I go ahead and select a guest. Now I can give it a document, a specific video URL or a page URL, but right now I'm just gonna type in the story, or the keyword that I want to create the podcast about. So let's say most shocking stories of World War I, and I can then select the podcast type. I can define the tone that I want to use. I can even define the speaker's ethnicity here, and what that would do is it would help me allow to basically have accents in the audio. But right now I'm just gonna skip that part, and I'm just gonna give it a few seconds here as it's creating this particular episode. I think it's gonna be episode number 6 in this show, and I'm gonna show you why PodGorilla excels when compared to any other similar podcast creation tool that may be out there. And it's gonna be really simple for me to show you, but let's go ahead and view our episode here. And right now, as you can see, we have the back and forth between the guests of the show here, right? And we have all the dialogue, so we can of course go ahead and edit it out and all. We can even change the speaker here. We can ask AI to write more about this particular thing, and we can do quite a few things here. But I'm just gonna come back here for a moment, and I'm gonna start generating the audio so I can show you how high quality these podcasts can be. Now, the one thing that I want to show you while this is happening is just look at the first 3 lines. Now, in this line, you're going to notice that it talks about the last episode that was on this show, which was about World War II. And now this one is going to be about World War I. So not only do the episodes have context between them, it actually discusses them like any specific host would do in an actual podcast, right? So it has its own memory and it keeps that in mind, and it's a really amazing feature that we've built in, because we're not just using generic AI engines to achieve this. We're using a very specific set of AI tools and agents to be able to achieve this that you won't be able to find in any other tool besides PodGorilla, right? That's exactly why we've been building this tool for the last 11 months. That's why it's taken so long. But yeah, that's just one of the very cool features. Now,
welcome back to Echoes of the Past. I'm Farron Blake, and today we're diving into the lesser known, yet truly astonishing stories from World War I. Joining me is someone who brings a fresh perspective to these historical
now as you can see, our audios are ready, and I can already go ahead and download this as MP3, or I can even turn this in a video, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But for now, give me a 3 in the chat if this excites you, if the quality of the scripts and the audio that you've just seen so far excites you. Give me a 3 in the chat. Okay, awesome. I do see quite a lot of 3 flying in, so I'm glad that you guys love this as well. Now I'm sure there are quite a lot of people here from our Content Gorilla audience as well, and they can vouch for the quality of the tools that we built, and PodGorilla is going to be very similar in those terms. But anyway, coming back, now let's build a podcast from scratch, and I'm going to try and walk you through as quickly as I can, because I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I also want to make sure I touch base on most of the features that we have. I may not be able to touch base with all of them, but still I'll try to cover most of them. Now, when you're creating a podcast, there are 3 essential things that you need. Number 1, you need an intro. Number 2, you need an outro. And of course, if you want to promote something, you need an advertisement. We have all 3 of those built into PodGorilla. So let's start there. The first thing I want to do is I want to know what kind of podcast I want to create. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Neil's voice and I'm going to clone my voice, and we're going to use that in a podcast show that's about online marketing. How does that sound? If that sounds good, give me 2s in the chat while I go here and start creating the stuff that we need. Awesome. I see quite a few 2s coming in, so that's pretty good. Now, we are gonna give this an intro: online marketing mavericks. That's what we're gonna call this podcast, and I'm just gonna ask it to what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask the AI to write an intro for me. Write an intro for a podcast called Online Marketing Mavericks, and I'm just gonna click on the I'm just going to click on the Ask AI button first, and I'm just going to type this in here, and I'm going to send this request to AI. By the way, if you see my scroll bar jumping up and down, it's because of the fact that I have my mouse scroll button just broke recently, and I haven't had the time to just go and kind of fetch that. But anyway, coming back, so as you can see, welcome to Online Marketing Mavericks, where digital pioneers blaze new trails in the marketing universe. It's not as personalized, so I'm just gonna give it a bit more instructions. Let's just try again. Welcome to Online Marketing Mavericks with Ijlal and Neil, where we uncover the secrets of online marketing to supercharge your digital success. That's much better. Let's just go ahead and use a voice. And then we're gonna select the vibe. I wanna go with something dramatic, but we have quite a lot of things, so you can, go in and check whatever you fit with. I also haven't created a music yet, but basically with music, what you can do is you can have like a really popping intro, outro, or advertisement. I'm just gonna use the one that I previously have here. It's a bit medieval because it was used in the history podcast, but anyway, it's gonna be enough for now. Let's go ahead and generate our intro. It's gonna take a few seconds.
Welcome to Online Marketing Mavericks with Ijlal and Neil, where we uncover the secrets of online marketing to supercharge your digital success.
Okay, perfect. Our intro is ready. I'm just gonna add that to the library. And it's been added. Now let's go ahead and quickly create an outro as well. I'm just gonna call it Online Marketing Mavericks outro. Write an outro for a podcast called Online Marketing Mavericks, asking listeners to like, share, and subscribe. Send request to AI. It's gonna write it for us. Thanks for tuning into Online Marketing Mavericks. If you enjoyed today's insights, please like, share, and subscribe to keep the daily marketing magic coming your way. That's perfect. I'm gonna use the same voice. I'm gonna use the same vibe, and I am not gonna use a music in this one. I'm just gonna click on the generate outro button. Gonna give it a moment and
for tuning in to Online Marketing Mavericks. If you enjoyed today's insights,
so that's done as well. I'm just gonna add this to the library as well. Now let's go ahead and create an advertisement that we can insert between our episode content, right? Let's call this Online Marketing Mavericks ads. I'm gonna ask AI, write me an advert for a digital marketing course called Marketing Mavericks. This advert is going to be spoken on in between a podcast episode of the show Online Marketing Mavericks. Let's see asking users to go to PodGorilla.co to sign up. Let's send this and unlock your digital marketing potential with Marketing Mavericks. Visit PodGorilla.co now to join the course Revolutionizing Online Marketing Success on Online Marketing Mavericks. So that's our advertisement there. Of course, I will typically improve this a bit because it's not the best looking advert, but I'm just gonna save time right now and I'm just gonna run with it. And for this, maybe I want a bit of a calmer vibe, and I can also add things like delay, echo, and all of that, but it's more suited to intros and outros. I forgot to show you there, but let's just go ahead and generate the advertisement now.
Unlock your digital potential with Marketing Mavericks. Visit podgorilla.co now to join the course.
So that's done. Let's just add it into the library as well. Now let's come back to my podcast and create a new one. Oh, well, actually, I also need to clone my voice and add myself in as a speaker. Now I already have my voice cloned here, but I'm just gonna do it again just to show you how it works here. And I am going to quickly navigate and find my voice sample. Now make sure you really upload a high quality voice sample. As you can see, I have a 2-minute long, very high quality sample.
Turn any video or keyword into an entire year of content.
So, very high quality. Using this, I'm just gonna give it a basic description and submit. It's gonna take a few seconds here again. It's gonna clone my voice, and as soon as it's done that, I am going to add myself in as a speaker, and then I'll show you, we're gonna create a new podcast, and I'm gonna show you how it works. But so far, how are we liking this demonstration of PodGorilla? Do you guys agree that it's pretty incredible so far? Give me a 3 in the chat. In the meantime, I am gonna come back to, or I'm gonna go in and add myself as a speaker now that I have my clone voice. I'm gonna call myself Ijlal Ahmed, of course, and I'm just gonna select a niche from here. I have to upload my picture. Let me see if I can find myself here. Hopefully no shirtless pictures come up. Let's see if I can just maybe have like a avatar image of mine and use that. Geez, these are huge though. Let's give it a shot. And then I'm gonna of course assign my voice here, the new one. Let's also preview it.
Creativity thrives in calm and focused environments.
I would say that's pretty close to how I sound. What do you guys think? Give me a 2 if you think it sounds pretty nice. Give me a 1 if you think it's absolutely garbage. I hope I don't see ones. But yeah, let me just type a SaaS entrepreneur. I hope I spell it right. I didn't. Let's just keep it simple for now and submit this. And that's done as well. Now we can come up and actually set up our podcast. So let's go in. We're gonna of course call this Online Marketing Mavericks. Then we're gonna select the intro, we're gonna select the outro, we're gonna select the host. Maybe I'll make myself the host and let Neil be the guest. And then I'm just gonna ask AI to write a description. It's gonna ask you, what is your podcast about? And I'm gonna send this to AI. Now this part takes a few more seconds than usual because it's gonna write a very in-depth and in-detailed description. You're gonna see that in a moment here. And it covers quite a few topics, right? So it covers the core theme and purpose, target audience, episode structure, and then the tone and style, speaker dynamics, common discussion topics, USP, preferred AI output, so that with every episode we send this through. So it has context on what kind of podcast we're creating. And of course you can go in and edit all of this too, but I'm just gonna save some time here and submit it as it is. Now let's go ahead and create our episode. What's why paid advertising is the #1 source of traffic? I don't know, I'm just coming up with this on the fly, but I'm gonna bring in Neil as a guest. So I'm just gonna select him, and again I'm just gonna go with custom topic, but do remember that you can upload a document, video URL, or even use a page URL in here. I'm just gonna copy and paste the same topic in here, and then I'm gonna select a bit of a comedy here. Let's see how that goes. Of course I don't want formal tone with that, and then I'm gonna click on submit. Now we're gonna give it a few seconds to ensure that we have our good looking episode, which means it's gonna go in and write dialogues for me and Neil right now. And as it's doing that, give me a 3 in the chat if all of this so far is looking really exciting. Give me a 3. I'm looking forward to see some 3s flying in. All right, our episode has been written. Let's go in and quickly view it. Welcome to the very first episode. So remember how I told you about the context thing? Now that it realizes this is the very first episode, that's exactly what it has mentioned. It's not going to mention that again in the second episode. In the second episode, it's going to have the context from the first, and it's going to continue from there. Now you can go in and of course add more lines into here for the speaker, so you can even have your own dialogues in here. And you can of course go in and add the advertisement as well that we just created. So let's say I want to add it somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna select the online marketing advertisement, and if I click on the play button here,
Unlock your digital potential with Marketing Mavericks.
as you can see, it's started playing. Now let's go ahead and generate our audios and see how that goes. But once this is done, I would also like to show you how this turned out, plus how you can convert this into a video. So we're coming very close to the ending of this demo, but let's just give it a few minutes here. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. Neil's here to help me out, so he's gonna keep on answering them. And then at the end, I'm just gonna hand this session over to Neil, and he can actually go in and explain it, or answer your questions as well. Plus, I'm gonna be right here with you guys anyway, so I can answer that too. James says the software looks pretty incredible. I'm excited to get my hands on it. Absolutely, James. I think it's a wonderful tool too, and I think you're absolutely going to love it. Melissa says this looks really promising. I can't wait to try it out. Melissa, trust me, we've had like 20 people beta test this entire tool, and the feedback that we've received from them, it's pretty incredible. And I'm sure that you're going to have a very similar experience, if not even better, because since we've beta tested it, we've only kept on improving it, and going forward it's going to improve.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Online Marketing.
By the way, this is not me speaking, this is my voice clone speaking. So I'm just going to play a few lines here, and then we're going to continue with the rest of the stuff.
Mavericks. I'm your host, Jalal Ahmed, and today we are diving deep into a topic that I believe is essential for anyone looking to make a mark in the digital landscape: paid advertising. Joining me here is a true expert in the field, Neil Napier. Neil, it's fantastic to have you on the show.
Hey Ijlal, it's great to be here. I'm really looking forward to discussing all things paid advertising with you and our listeners.
Neil, paid advertising is quite a broad subject, but many are saying it's the #1 source of traffic today. Why do you think that's the case?
You're right, Ijlal. Paid advertising has really moved up to...
Okay, I'm gonna stop that here, but now as you can see, it's pretty incredible, right? And I can go ahead and download this as MP3, start publishing it wherever I'd like. Plus there's one more thing that I completely forgot to show you. If I come back here, we have an RSS feed feature, which basically generates a RSS feed for your podcast, and all major platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, they use RSS feeds. So whenever you create a new episode in here and you add it into the RSS field, it automatically gets syndicated to your Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else where they have the support for RSS. So that's one super simple and easy way to actually go in and distribute your podcast. But the really cool part that I also want to show you is the video creation. The video creation is pretty epic as well. So I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna create a new version of this video. Let's just call it Ijlal Live Demo. And then I'm going to click on the next button. We're going to select the podcast that we just created, select the episode. It's going to run a few checks and it's going to tell you it's all set. Now you can come in here and you can select the template that you want to use. So we have all variations in square, horizontal, and vertical formats. I'm just going to use a horizontal one for now, and let's click on the next button, and it's started rendering. Let's give it a few Well, actually, this is gonna take a few minutes because, you know, rendering is a bit of a heavier process. But let me just show you what I have already created, and, you know, we can just use that as an example because I have also taken up quite a lot of time here. Well, let me just play this.
Welcome to Echoes of the Past.
Now, the one thing that you're going to notice is the hosts and the guests are grayed out right now because the introduction is running. And once the introduction has done running and the host actually starts speaking,
Hello, listeners, and welcome.
the color of the host's avatar changes, and it actually shows you the colored version instead of the grayscale. That basically highlights that you can that this person is speaking. I'm just going to play like 10-15 seconds so you can see this, and then we're going to pass this over to Neil.
Welcome to the very first episode of Echoes of the Past. I'm Farron Blake, your guide on this historical journey. Tonight, we're delving into the grandeur and legacy of one of history's most fascinating civilizations, the Roman Empire. Joining me is someone who, like the architects of old, has mastered a craft, although hers involves words and careers. Welcome, Vesa Thorn.
Thank you, Farron. I'm thrilled to be here.
Right, so that's how it works, and like we have quite a lot of templates for you to choose. But yeah, that's basically about it. I have touched base on pretty much every single feature. Neil, now you can take it over and steal the rest of the show while I'm gonna be right here. Go ahead.
Thanks, Ijlal. I appreciate that very, very much. So, folks, what do you think about it? Like 1 to 10, given how difficult podcasts are to create generally manually, if you were doing that, given how long and tiresome they can be, 1 to 10, how would you rate it? 10 being exceptional, 1 being, well, no way, that was like just horrible. So again, 1 to 10, and again, I can promise you this much right now, that number one, there's nothing similar to this in the AI podcast industry right now, right? Nothing does like to use a podcast in your own voice if you want, or anyone's voice, as long as you have permission to use that. Number two, compared to the traditional model of podcasting, this will save you a ton of time and a ton of money as well. So in those cases, what PodGorilla offers, just like Content Gorilla did before that, is an exceptional outcome. And what makes this different from other AI tools is that you don't need access to ChatGPT, 11 Labs, or anything else, right? You do not need access to anything else. It's a complete podcast creation in one platform. So there's content generation, voice synthesis, publishing, exactly how Israel showed you. There are podcast-specific workflows and templates you can use. You do not need technical skills, and it's very easy to set up. To be honest with you, when you first go in, it's almost going to feel like you're playing with something, right? You're playing with a tool rather than you're trying to set up something difficult, something complicated. And that's how I wanted to make it. We wanted to make it so that anyone could use it. And as I mentioned before in the very beginning, we've given this to many users already, and we have a lot of positive response from them. They're getting views, visitors, traffic on YouTube, on TikTok, and other places by condensing their videos into short videos. So makes podcast creation easy, even for complete beginners, says Lee. We launched Hold That Thought podcast with PodGorilla, and within days reached thousands of listeners. That comes from Paul Smith. So brand new podcast launched, published on Spotify, YouTube, and listened by thousands of people without having to pay for studios, editors. None of that is required. So what you just witnessed today, what you just saw, are professional broadcast quality podcasts with natural voice, with proper pacing, strategic pauses, and emphasis, as well as engaging delivery that keeps listener hooked. Altogether, I know Ijlal showed you demo in 3 different ways. Altogether, it will take you about 8 to 10 minutes to create a brand new podcast episode, or even just a series of them. Pretty cool, right? You just saw how easy podcast creation can be. Now let's talk about what really matters. That is, how do you position yourself in the market? If I'm asking you to go out there and sell this to clients, if I'm asking you to go out there and make money with this, how do you position yourself to clients? For starters, don't say, oh, we do podcast production. Don't say we create audio content, or we start our price plans at $500 a month. None of that. What you say matters. Authority language commands authority pricing. So you say, we close authority gaps with podcasts. We transform businesses into recognized authorities. Investment, again, not price, not cost. Investment begins at $1,500 a month. We can scale that up if you want more, but that's the price we start at. Once you master the objection, and I can show you a few more a little bit later, you can elevate your pricing, because authority isn't cheap and it should not be, right? People say yes to $1,500 a month because most agencies think like, hey, I should charge less to be competitive. But when you position yourself the right way, then premium pricing increases close rates. Businesses realize that what you're offering is a one-of-a-kind thing. It's something very, very unique that they cannot do without. Why? Because higher price equals higher perceived value. $1,500 a month is serious investment, and that gives serious results. Low prices typically signals amateur service. And again, I can tell you this as a decision maker who often spends $1,500 a month on services. Premium pricing respects premium, expects premium positioning. Okay, in B2B, customers who prioritize service quality over price show significantly lower price sensitivity, and higher willingness to invest in premium solutions. So again, I want you to go out there and I want you to command premium pricing with this. Now, just so you know, if you still have questions about this, I'd love to talk a lot more about this, but to be honest, this itself is like a 3-day training. So we can plan it out in a couple of weeks' time, like you and I can get together and talk about getting clients, and I can show you exactly what we do, what we told our customers to do to get clients as well, but I cannot go more into that right now. All I can tell you is I want you to charge premium pricing. So my question here becomes, who's ready to build this? Who's ready to go out there and use PodGorilla for themselves to build their own authority, but also help other businesses and build their authority as well and get paid handsomely in return? Just raise your hands or type in a 1 if you're like, hey, I want to get in. Like, this is awesome. I'm ready. A link, please. Great. Keep those coming. Good. Fantastic. So let me go further. Let me tell you what you can get today for a special deal, with a special deal that we're offering. So when I introduce you to PodGorilla, I want to tell you everything that you can unlock today. And again, just so you know, we're doing a very special deal on this webinar where you can literally unlock each and every step of the funnel at a combined price. So let's break down what you're getting today. For starters, we're going to give you PodGorilla commercial license. Now, the foundation of this entire platform is PodGorilla commercial. With this, you have multiple content creation methods. You can create content from keywords, from URLs, from YouTube videos, or Vimeo videos, up to you. You get 15 podcast format types that include interviews, educational, storytelling, panel discussion, Q&A, and more. You get universal RSS distribution, so you can send out your podcast with a single click to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and over 50 platforms, right? So someone said, well, how do we use it to get traffic? You click a button that automatically sends this out to 50 plus platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and they have so much organic traffic built in that you just collect all of that, right? You can also export the MP3s and host them on your own website or anywhere else you want. You can do video podcast creation with multiple templates and orientations, put them up on YouTube, Vimeo. You can shorten the videos, put them on TikTok, wherever you want for that matter, right? And again, as I mentioned, you can use this for your clients as well. And that's just a commercial license. On top of that, especially for you today on this webinar, we're giving you PodGorilla Unlimited license. Now with this, you can create unlimited podcasts. Like for example, what Joe Rogan does is like one podcast, but he has a lot of episodes. You can create unlimited podcasts. With those, you can create unlimited episodes. You can do unlimited AI voice generations. You can do unlimited intros, outros, advertisements. Advertisements are a great way to get paid. So when you have a podcast, you can ask someone to sponsor you. They'll give you a pre-recorded 30-second, 45-second ad, or you can record it yourself and you can put that in, and they'll pay you just to show that, just to show it to your audience, right? You can do unlimited music generation, unlimited downloads, and you also get 100 expert speakers built in, 50 men and 50 women. Of course, you can also clone your voice if you remember. And you can have up to 4 speakers per episode. You can clone 10 custom voices. You get 50 video templates and 3 orientations, as well as you get a template creator so you can do your own. For all the audios and videos that we create, you get 6 months of storage, and you get a pronunciation library built in. So if you have some words that should be pronounced in a specific way, you can teach that to the AI, and you also get priority rendering, free feature updates, and 24/7 priority support. Now, this is the highest level of PodGorilla that we have. that basically gives you everything and doesn't hold anything back. Next up, we've also got done for you niche systems. So if you're interested in going into certain markets quickly, having a breakthrough, we give you 20 niches or 20 industries that you can go after. So for example, real estate agents, chiropractors, dentists, plumbers, law firms, AI tools and software, side hustles and passive income. We give you basically scripts for each of them. We give you, let me show you more. We give you 10 done for you scripts for each niche. Obviously, like change them because we're giving to a lot of you. We give you 25 niche specific interview questions that you can ask as well. We give you 5 high converting podcast name ideas, 3 intro script templates, and 3 outro script templates as well. So we give you access to all of that, 20 social media post templates, 5 email templates. So altogether, you're getting crazy amount of value just with this upgrade alone. But again, this upgrade is included in your bundle pricing. Next up, we're giving you agency business package. So if you are serious about going out there and selling this to clients, you're going to want your own website. We give you that. It's not listed here, but we give you a done for your website. We give you done for your sales proposals, done for your client contracts, rate cards, email templates, objection handler scripts, as well as pricing calculator that you can use to price your services the right way. Right, just this agency pack alone is anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 because it's going to cost you a lot of money just to get someone else to create this material for you. But we're giving it to you, all of this included as part of the bundle deal. But that's not all. Like so far, we've already accumulated a lot of value for you, but there's more. We're giving you the podcast profit blueprint, client pitch pack, affiliate arsenal, 365 content ideas database, a ton of value that you can easily go out there and use to build out your own podcast or podcast for clients. Like I'll circle back and I'll show you these bonuses again, but you're getting an incredible amount of value from this bundle deal exclusively on this webinar. So again, just to walk you through this, you're getting access to PodGorilla commercial license, PodGorilla unlimited license, done for you niche systems, agency business pack. You've got exclusive bonuses which are not available separately, including podcast profit blueprint, client pitch pack, affiliate arsenal, and 365 content ideas database. Total value that you see is incredible. And let me tell you what this replaces. If you're wondering, well, okay, Neil, but what do I not need anymore if you give me this? You don't need to hire a team, right? You don't need to spend all that money, all that time in doing that. You don't need to get freelancers, right? Typically, you can have freelancers, or if you don't want a team, you don't need to do any of that. You don't need to build it yourself. Right, a lot of people may want to do it themselves. They'll be like, hey, I can just, automate all of this myself. You don't need to do any of that. And again, by the way, if you choose to, not only are you going to lose a lot of money, but there's a lot of opportunity cost to be lost as well. And most importantly, you don't need to buy everything separately, right? People that go through this separately, they're going to pay separately for everything, and they're going to get pricing that is going to break their bank, but we're not going to do that for you. And again, those people are not going to get some of the bonuses that I've shown you today, but you have the opportunity to get everything and the bonuses that I've highlighted today. So I want to give you PodGorilla bundle package, which replaces all 4 options at a fraction of the cost. Now, before I reveal the price for the complete authority as a service system, let's just be real for a second. You know what freelancers are charging right now just to run a single podcast episode script? If you didn't know, basic writers in Fiverr are charging $150 to $300 for one episode. Good writers, double of that. Premium writers, a lot more than that. Right? That's just writing. That's not even audio. And if you don't believe me, you can just go check. I will write a video script, speech, podcast on finance, business, tech, sustainability, and this person is charging about $498 for a podcast that's going to run for about 15 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how fast you speak. Right? $500 just for that alone. Another one, $270 for 4,000 words. That is a bit longer, but again, if you're willing to pay that, by all means, go ahead and do that. But my point is that you don't need to spend that kind of money, because they're not giving you the full service. You're not getting everything with them. With PodGorilla, you are. So here's what you invest today to grab complete authority as a service system. All of it, everything that we've talked about, comes out to about $1,674, right? If you were to buy it separately, you'd pay $486. But I want you to go to that link. I want you to go to that link that you see on the window right now. Islal's going to drop the link for you in the chat as well, or my team's going to drop that link for you in the chat. Go to that link and you'll be able to get access to the entire bundle for a fraction of the cost. And just so you know, this is very, very important, just so you know, some of the bonuses that I revealed today are not going to be available anywhere else. So make sure that you are getting access to this bundle deal today on this session, right? So instead of asking you to pay $486, I'm going to ask you to pay not that much, because again, that's a bit high. I know where things are. I'm going to ask you to pay $349 for the first year, which is a massive discount already. And instead of other people who are going to renew it for $299 per year afterwards for the unlimited license, they were to go unlimited, if they were to do unlimited podcasts, unlimited episodes, and if they were to buy it separately, they'd pay $299 per year. I'm going to ask you to pay only $199 per year. And look, that's enough for us to maintain unlimited status for you. That's enough for us to maintain unlimited podcasts, unlimited episodes, all the audio rendering, all the video rendering. It's so low. Like, you're literally paying less than or a bit over 50 cents a day. 50 cents a day just to have the unlimited capability within PodGorilla. Otherwise, if you want everything I've talked about today, including unlimited capacity, you can enjoy that for the first year at a massive discount already. So the link is in the chat. When you jump in, or if you're jumping in, type in, I'm in, let me know, because we have some serious bonuses, we have some serious value coming your way, and I want to make sure that I offer that to you, especially on this session. That's not going to be available later. People are not going to be able to get access to that afterward, but I want to make sure that you do. Okay, so type in I'm in, or type in bundle so I know, so I can acknowledge you, so I can make sure that I can point out to you so others know you're jumping in, because again, it's a competition game, right? All of this is a competition game, which is if you don't, someone else will. If you sleep on the results now, if you sleep on the outcome now, someone else will. So I don't really mind, as long as you take the step forward for me to help you build your own authority and sell this as a service to others. Just think about what this would do for you over the long term. Think about investing just a little bit of time in this now, ensuring that you establish something for yourself that builds your authority, authority that gets you trusted sales, trusted traffic that gets you sales. Because look, you can post all the faceless videos on TikTok and Instagram that you want. I'm sure you have the software where you click a few buttons and it's going to paste like 10 faceless videos a day. But where has that got you to now? Are you making sales from that now? You might be getting traffic, you might be getting views, but are you getting sales from that now? You are not getting sales from that, because all those systems, while they create traffic, that traffic is not built in trust. That traffic does not have built-in trust. So what happens when there's no built-in trust with that traffic is that the traffic doesn't convert, it doesn't buy. Compared to shorts, compared to blogs, compared to videos, compared to everything, podcast is the only system that establishes trust, because it instantly positions you as an authority. Just think about this. When was the last time you listened to a podcast? And when you listened to a podcast, did you think of that person, and did you think to yourself like, hey, this person knows a lot. Like, I like what this person's talking about. I think this person's got, right head on their shoulders. I can learn a lot from them. There's something that they are talking about that I've never thought about before. Did you get those feelings? And did you get those feelings last time you were on TikTok or Instagram? What drives you to trust someone more? Is it watching a 10-second clip for them on social media? Or is it sitting down in your car when you're driving somewhere, or when you're just relaxing and listening to a podcast? What makes you move? And just think about this. The same thing will make your customers move as well. The same thing will make your clients move as well. And that is what they pay for, right? They pay for authority building. So let me explain again one more time the savings that you're getting, what you're getting access to. So you pay $349 right now. Everything is activated for you immediately. You get access to PodGorilla at unlimited capacity. You have no idea how much it costs us for you to render audio in your voice or third-party voice at every time, right? You don't know anything about that, like that costs a lot, but we're giving that to you because you want to advance you to that level where you are getting serious results. Because look, the more results you get, the better results you get, the happier you will be, the happier you'll be with us. And then, look, honestly, the more you come back to us and purchase from us. Because if we get you results, why wouldn't you? Right? Why wouldn't you? So you're getting access to all of this right now. And then from year two onwards, if you want to continue on the unlimited license, you pay $199 a year, right? That's optional, but that allows you to keep the unlimited features. If you don't want to renew, that's fine. You still have the one podcast that we offer you with a commercial license, still with unlimited episodes. If you just want to keep one podcast, you can keep that. One podcast basically means servicing one business. And look, even a single business paying you $1,500 a month or $500 a month is incredible ROI on what I'm asking you to invest today. Like, if you just go out there, you just close one business in the next 90 days. You get a bit lazy. You're like, hey, Neil, it's Black Friday, Christmas time. I'm with family. I'm not too busy. I'm just going to go close one business and charge $500 a month. You've already made your money back that you pay for me within 1 month. Anything after that is gravy. Anything after that is simple profit. And again, I told you this, like, there's so much I can discuss with you about client generation, about how to go out there and close clients. I can't do it today because I literally want to spend 3 days with you talking about it. So we're going to plan that out in like 10 days, 12 days time, or 2 weeks time. But for now, I want you to trust me and take this opportunity, because when you do, you unlock everything and you get all the core components, you get all the exclusive bonuses from the link that you see on the screen. Okay? So again, everything is unlocked for you immediately. There's no additional upsell. There's no like bump offer or something that you're gonna have to pay. And look, I talked about how much it costs for us to run this. It doesn't make any business sense for us to bring in like 1,000 customers at this price point. It's just not feasible. It's not something that is responsible, right? So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna make it available for you at this price, but I don't know how long we can keep this price open, but we wanna do this because you want early adopters who will actually use this and get results, right? So for year one, you unlock all these things. You get the PodGorilla commercial license, which is yours forever. You get PodGorilla Unlimited, where you get 12-month access. You get done for unit system, which is yours forever. And this is like a massive, you know, my team created this with me, and it was, you wouldn't believe, it was like a book. It was a 300-page Google document, 300-page Google document. You get access to all of that. Like that alone, that 300-page Google document is worth what I'm asking you to pay. But that's like an extra thing, right? You get the agency business pack, which is yours forever, and you get all the other premium bonuses as well, which are yours forever as well. Year two onwards, if you want to maintain unlimited features, which are unlimited podcast episodes, voices, downloads, priority rendering, free future updates and new features, and all of those things, you can renew, but you don't have to. Renewal is completely optional. You can cancel tomorrow if you don't want to renew next year. That's completely okay, right? But you get access to all of this even if you don't renew. Even if you're like, Neil, I liked it, but you know, things are different now. For whatever reason, that's fine. You don't have to renew, but you still get to keep done for unit systems. You still get to keep agency business pack. You still get to keep all the premium bonuses. You still get to keep PodGorilla with one podcast and unlimited episodes. Now, look, I know this is a big decision. So before we move forward, let's remove every ounce of risk, because I don't want you to walk away from this and having to justify this decision to your partner, like, hey, what did you purchase now? I don't want you to feel like, hey, you know, Neil, like this is like too much. How do I tell my husband, my wife about this? I want to cover you for 14 days money back guarantee, right? So I want you to get this and understand and know that you are covered fully for the next 14 days. So for whatever reason, you change your mind, you don't like something, maybe your voice that you create doesn't come out nice, maybe you don't like the videos, maybe, you know, me or Ijlal annoy you with all the training that we send you where you're like, Neil, I don't want this. Perfectly fine. I'll give you every single penny back. I don't want you to keep your money if I can't satisfy you. I don't want to keep your money if I don't make you happy with your purchase. So you can have access to everything for 14 days. Like, you could literally go out there, create your own podcast. You can consume as much as you want inside of the next 14 days. I'm not going to charge you for that. Right? Typically, other businesses will say, okay, well, you got to pay the usage fee, like what you've consumed. We're not asking you to do that. You can come in, eat my food, and if you honestly, hand on heart, say, okay, the food was too spicy, it was too salty, it was undercooked, whatever, I'll give you your money back. You can still walk away with a full stomach, but I'll give you your money back because I want to make you happy. I want to make you satisfied, because if I do, look, simple thing is you're going to come back and buy from me again. If I give you your money back, even if, you know, you used it, you didn't like it, I know that you're going to trust me to come back and buy from me the next time, because you know that you can trust me to stand by my promise. So that's what I want to give to you as part of this deal. All right, so again, keep typing in bundle, bundle, bundle. When you do, or I'm in, let me know so we know you're in. I'm going to try and get to the questions as well, but I think Islal's doing a great job answering those for you right now. So I'm just going to move forward. Essentially, you get to try the complete authority system risk-free. I can also kind of paint a picture for you what's going to happen. So in the next few days, we're going to have a bonus training session where I'm going to walk you through how to leverage this traffic that you're creating, how to build trust, and how to sell more, right? How to kind of put out more opportunities out there in the world to build your content pipeline. So we'll talk about that over the next week. And then second week, I want to talk more about client acquisition. Like I genuinely had some slides prepared for you today. I think the demo, and I'm going to blame Isla for that, the demo took way longer than I had planned, but that's also because he wanted to go in and he's so passionate about this, he wanted to go in and show you everything, leave nothing untouched. The demo took a bit long, which is why I can't go deeper into client acquisition today, but I promise you, client acquisition for this is much easier than many other things. I'll tell you why right now, because that's why you're going to come to that second training series that we're going to do. But when you go to a prospect and says, hey, look, I'll build authority for you. I'll position you as someone who, you know, instantly attracts the right kind of qualified leads. I'm going to help you close clients for your real estate business, for your dentistry, for whatever. And you don't have to pay me anything until I make sales for you. When you say that to someone, that you pay me based on performance, they're going to be like, where do I sign? Like I literally had someone reach out to me today via cold email, and he's like, Neil, what if we set up like all these meetings for you, but unlike other lead gen agencies, I'm not gonna charge you for the meetings. I'm only gonna charge you when you close the sale. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Where do I sign up? So I want you to make the same offer to your prospects. And again, because it is so easy, it doesn't cost you anything. It's a very easy offer to make. And when they get results, which they will, you get paid based on that. Again, there's so much I want to talk about. So big opportunity with podcasting compared to social media, because social media is noisy right now. Like everyone is doing social media. Everyone's trying to do faceless videos. Most videos on TikTok, Instagram don't go past 100, 200 views. Most of them get geo-blocked. Most of them don't get noticed unless you really do very cool content, which again, let's face it, I don't know about you, but I'm not that creative. I rely on people like Ijlal to make me creative. So again, if you naturally are creative, if you're a funny person, great. You're going to do really well with video content. But if you're more like me, if you're like, hey, I'm a bit serious type, like I just want to live my day-to-day life, enjoy my time with my family, just chill on the weekends and make money in the process, there's no better system than a podcasting system, because it lets you put your authority out there and it lets people latch onto it and use it to pay you money to buy something from you. And again, that is what you're getting access to today to do for yourself and for your clients as well. And again, if you're not technical enough, that is perfectly fine. We've built it for people like you, right? Maria said that with just a few clicks, anyone can produce professional audio content in under 2 minutes without any technical skills. If podcasting is strategic to your marketing, PodGorilla becomes essential. So this was one of our beta customers that came in. If you're thinking today, Neil, I kind of want to do this like for myself, but I don't know if I have time to add another service to whatever I'm doing. Like I can tell you that if you can spare, and again, you're going to see this is the bonus sessions as we're doing. If you can spare about 5 hours with me in the first week or first 2 weeks, 5 hours to set everything up and to reach out to businesses as I'll ask you to do, then it can quite easily land you 1 or 2 clients at anywhere between 500 to 1,500 a month. So if that's worth your time, if I ask you to give me 5 hours and I can get you clients, you know, I can get you paid basically 1,000 to 3,000 a month. If you can do that, we've got a trade. But if you're like, Neil, I don't even have like 5 hours to give you, yeah, I can't help you. Like, I just want to be fair with you, okay? If you tell me, Neil, like, I like it, this is great, but I don't have 5 hours to spare, I can't help you. And I hope you find what you're looking for in that case. But if you can give me 5 hours over 2 weeks, not even over a week, but over 2 weeks, then I think what you are getting, what you're seeing today, is what you need to basically go out there and make money. Okay? That being said, your clients will pay you. Because this, as I mentioned throughout, is a premium service. The authority gap that we talked about, when you explain to them like that, when you ask them those 3 questions, when they realize that they're not actually as big as they thought they were, they will pay you because they want to be big. Right? I can tell you this as well. 67%, this is real statistic, you can go look it up. 67% of businesses that have said no, this is too expensive to $500 a month, also said yes to $2,500 a month with proper positioning. 67% of businesses. So again, you go to 3 businesses, all 3 of them say, oh no, we can't afford $500 a month. That's because you offered them the wrong kind of service, or maybe you didn't highlight the benefits well enough. But when you turn around and when you reposition that as a premium service, when they realize that what they're getting actually is much better than anything they've seen for $500 a month, they instantly say yes. So it becomes like 2 out of those 3 businesses close at a much, much higher price. And again, you're able to do that because you're getting access to everything today, absolutely nothing held back. We're not putting anything behind the wall. We're not saying like, hey, you can't get this one, like, okay, not that one. Everything is accessible to you today on this session, again, with full guarantee, with full promise that we're going to work with you. You can come to me and Ijlal and say, Neil, I like it, but I'm kind of stuck with this, or I have this question, or I want to know about this. We'll tell you what you need to know. We'll tell you, we'll give you a straight answer. If we can't help you, we'll tell you. But if we can help you, it's going to be so much fun. Right, so questions. Let me see some questions if I missed something. I don't know if some questions have been marked for me. Let me see. If not, okay, I see something. Can you generate, this may have come earlier, can you generate voice with another tool and upload into PodGorilla? That's not necessary. I think you can, but if you're doing that already, like, might as well do podcasts elsewhere. Right, so that is like possible. Good, let me see. How long is this bundle available for? For a few days, but the price that you see right now on the webinar is the current price. We do intend to raise the price at some point. I don't know when. So, you know, of course, I'm doing this session. I'm going to go away. I actually have to put the kids to bed after this. So I'm going to go do that. But at some point, Ijlal and I will get together. We'll look at it. And if you've kind of oversold on this session, so I have a number in mind, and if you have oversold, we're going to raise the prices. So again, just FYI, if you're watching this as a replay and you're like, Neil, why is it higher than the price that you showed on the webinar? Well, the reason is because we had some expectation of how many we're going to sell. And if you have oversold, then we're going to raise the prices, because I don't want to create a window where basically all, like, you know, 20 scripts or 10 scripts for each niche is available to everyone at the same price. Like, I just don't want to do that. So that's important to me. I want to ensure that you're able to enjoy some exclusivity. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be fully exclusive, but I want to make sure you can enjoy some exclusivity with PodGorilla. Okay, questions, keep them coming in. Will this work for my niche? Look, if you feel, like, I don't know what market you're in, and I can only guess. If you feel that you could have more authority than you do right now, then the answer is yes. Like, genuinely yes. If you feel like, no, like, you know, I've done the best I can, like, this is as good as it can get, then no, it's not for you. But if you genuinely hand on heart feel that, you know, if I had this as well, if I was to be more omnipresent, be on like 50 different podcasting platforms at the same time, then yeah, I'd get like more authority views, more authority traffic, more authority leads, and more authority sales, then yes, this is right for you. Okay, then yes, in that case, this is right for you. What kind of 11 Labs API key do I need? You don't need it, but if you want to hook in your own for whatever reason, like maybe you want to import some voices from there, then you just basically take the key that they give you with like edit rights and everything. So that's like completely optional, because again, we wanted to make this platform as like easy to get in and use, because if we ask you to integrate everything first, then it just takes time to get started. We don't want that. We want you to move forward as quickly as you can. That's what Ijlal does, right? What AI voices sound fake? I mean, look, technology has come a long, long way. It has genuinely come a long, long way. You wouldn't believe this. Actually, I think, let me see if I can show you. I can't show you this right now, but I showed a video to my copywriter. So I have a copywriter who does very high level copywriting. And I showed him this video and I said, like, which video is better, this one or that one? I kid you not. The video I showed him originally was my live video on camera. And he was like, well, I like the previous one better. I'm like, what do you mean previous one better? He showed me that. And that video was pure AI. Pure AI. Like, I can show you that stuff in the future sometime, but that video, like the audio of the video was pure AI. He was like, you know, that was like clearer for me. And I felt embarrassed. I genuinely felt embarrassed. Then my AI clone, he thought that was real. For starters, he thought that was real, right? I was embarrassed because my AI clone is outperforming me in real life for the first time. This is how far the technology has come. So I'm not saying that, you know, my AI voice is always going to beat me, but then my AI voice doesn't get tired, even if it's been talking for 2 hours. My AI voice doesn't get lazy. My AI voice doesn't need water every few minutes, like I need right now. So to answer your question, if you're thinking about it, well, will the AI voices sound fake? They're getting really, really good now. And I'll say this to Islal's credit, the amount of work he has put in to PodGorilla, and I've seen him working on this for the last 10 months, the amount of work he's put in just on the voice module alone is crazy. This man has been passionate, fanatic about getting the audio right. Like I told him, hey, we should focus more on audio. Like I genuinely told him we should focus more on audio. It's going to sell better. We're going to make more money. He said, Neil, we can do that later. I want to make sure right now the audio is good. Because if the foundational audio is not good, people are not going to get results with it. So he was passionate about it, and he's created something which I genuinely feel, compared to any other podcasting tool, and you can go out and compare this, compared to any other podcasting tool, this has the best AI voices. If you're wondering whether it's ethical to use or not, give a disclaimer, right? Give a disclaimer in the beginning, right? So I don't want you to deceive people.
And
you can
sorry,
tell your clients,
just to
like,
jump in here, Neil. So when we were, publishing our AI podcast, I noticed that on platforms like YouTube, you actually have an option that basically allows you to give a disclaimer without you having to do anything. So as soon as you open the video, it already tells you that this video is altered with AI.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Isla, what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to go in and answer some questions. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that I answer some questions as well, because just FYI, I will have to jet in like 8 minutes, in which case I'll kind of leave it up to you. But I'll answer some questions quickly. So Vinay says, how do we use it to build our own personal brand and make money out of it? So look, Vinay, as long as like how to get sponsorship in exchange for advertisement, also how much platform like Spotify pays just for views and listen time. So Spotify doesn't really pay you directly, right? So it's not the same as like YouTube, because in YouTube you can make like ad revenue, but you use Spotify to grow a following. You can have a podcast on Spotify and ask people to join your Facebook group or something, or join your email list, for example. You can always do that. But all of this is putting your words out into the world, right? I'm sure you watch videos, all of us watch videos. When we watch video, we don't immediately go and buy from someone. Like, hey, I just saw this guy's YouTube video, like, let me go buy something from him or her. We don't do that. We watch their video, we follow them, we watch another video, we opt into the list, we get a few emails from them, we buy. It's a process, it's a journey. Some people buy after a day, some people buy after like a year. It just really depends. So to answer your question, how do you build your personal brand? Well, you put out new content into the world ever so often. Every week, every day if you can, however often you can or want to, you put out your voice into the world. Like, you literally put out your voice into the world. And then as you're getting views, as you're getting traffic, you can, let's say each video that you produce eventually, I'm not saying it's going to happen on day one, but after like 3 months, 6 months of doing it, your videos are getting 500 views or 1,000 views, or your podcasts are getting all together combined across all the different platforms and getting like 2,000 views. You can go to people and say, hey, look, I do a podcast in this market. I get 2,000 listeners every time on average. You can pay me like, for every 1,000 listeners, you can pay me $10, $20, $30. So you pay me $60 and I will put your ad into my podcast and it will forever be there, right? Or if you want to basically sponsor the entire month, let's agree for like $2,000, $3,000, and that covers, 20 podcasts that I'm going to put out over the next month. Each one gets on average 2,000 views. So we're looking at about 40,000 views altogether for $3,000. A lot of companies are willing to do that because when they see an authority figure, and again, remember, authority comes over time, it doesn't come on day one, but when they see an authority figure that is constantly publishing new content, that is constantly engaging people, they're willing to pay for it. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna, following up to share my idea, that's a really good idea, but I'm not gonna share that with everyone because that's your idea, but that's good. Like, I like it. Okay. Will you at least guarantee that additional clone voices can be purchased as an add-on? That is what's holding me back. Because if you have 10 business sign up with you for 6 months and cancel, does that mean you no longer have the space for selling to another business? If you have, let's say, 10 businesses sign up, you can, and some of them cancel, you can just remove their clone voice. Simple. Like, you can remove their clone voice. Okay, Ismail, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you're right. And also, like, let's suppose you have more than 10 clients that are active. We'll probably have a add-on option in the future where you can just get more voices.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. So we can look at that as well. Can we upload our own avatar for the video creation? So video creation is templatized at the moment. You can add a few things, but you can't have like a talking avatar at this point. Like that is not possible. That's a much harder thing to do technically as well. So we don't have that available at the moment. Okay, just FYI. Bilal, I'm just answering questions. I know you're kind of marking them, but that's yeah. Can we upload our own avatar? I did say that. So once you remove the clone voices, that creates another space. Yeah, exactly. That creates another space to sell to another client. And remember, I mean, even if you're charging a low 500 a month, if you have 10 clients in there, you're making 5,000 a month. If you ask you to pay, 20, 30, 40, $50 for an additional space per voice, I'm pretty sure you'd be happy to pay that. But again, we can look at that once you get to that stage. At the moment, we have 10 clone voice space, which I think is pretty generous, is pretty good. So again, quick reminder, everything that we've talked about so far, you're getting today for a $349 payment. And remember, if you renew afterwards, you can continue to enjoy the unlimited features. If you don't, you still enjoy everything else except for the unlimited features for life, okay, forever. And again, remember, Content Gorilla has been around since 2019. So it's been like 6 years coming up to 7. We are known to service our customers over the longer term. So we will take care of you. And again, one of the ways which we can do that is by making sure that we can ensure continuity. We'd be doing you a disservice if we sold this to you at a one-time price today and then shut down business 12 months later, right? That would be wrong to you, that'd be wrong to us, anyone and more. So we don't do that. We're transparent with you. We're telling you that what we're doing has real costs. And instead of, closing down business after 12 months, as a lot of other lifetime deals do, and I do not like that at all. I think it's a horrible habit. We're telling you very openly that if you were to continue after the first year, you will have a recurring cost. If you don't want to pay that, that's perfectly fine. You can still enjoy a more limited version of the software, which I think is a fair deal for you and us. Okay, good. Any other questions? Keep them coming. I'm just going to see if I can go back and answer some. Let me just see. Great, and ready to jump in now. I love it. That's great. Thanks for answering. That helps. Well, I was wondering on the avatar question, if a client wants their own picture or avatar on the video podcast. Ismail, if it's okay, so I've got like another 2-3 minutes to go, but if you don't mind a little bit going back in and showing like video and what they can do with a video formatting, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I can take over.
Okay, cool. So I'll just talk for 2 more minutes. Anderson says, this is another amazing software for you guys. You always nail the needs of your market. Love it, love it, love it. Does the agency offer a website for us to use? Yes, it does. Yes, you get a Divi Themes website. It's very easy to upload. We give you training on how to upload that as well. If you get stuck, you can reach out to us and we can guide you. But yes, the agency license does have a website as well. Sorry that we didn't put that on the sales page, but there is a website as well. Again, while you decide, just consider this. There are 464 million podcast listeners searching for experts right now. And if you're thinking, Neil, I'm not really an expert, I can also tell you that most often you can have 2 people talking about the same thing, but one would choose one and the other person would choose the other just because of the perspective that they bring. For example, I make same amount of money as some of my friends do as well in the market that we're in, but some people prefer to buy from me and listen to me because I'm a family man. Some people prefer to listen from him and buy from him because he drives a Lambo, right? So I have a bigger house. He has a better looking car. Some people buy from me, some people buy from him. That is to say that no matter where you are in your journey, your perspective matters and people want to listen to what you have to say. So as long as you're willing to put some content out in the world, I can tell you, you're going to attract people into your world, into your brand, into your tribe. And that is exactly what I want you to do. Okay. So yeah, just think about that as well. Now, look, I'll also say this last thing, and I'll pass it on to Ijlal. At this point, you've seen the proof system and the results. The only thing left right now is your decision. Okay, absolute only thing left is your decision, and you have to decide. Like, hey, Neil, I want to, jump into this or not. I am not going to force anyone, but I will say for whoever that does jump in, both Ijlal and I are going to commit ourselves to you. Whoever is able to capitalize on this opportunity, both Ijlal and I are going to commit to work with you moving forward so that you are able to get exceptional results with it. Because again, remember, when you get exceptional results with it, number one, you're going to give us testimonials. Number two, you're going to have more money to spend that money with us as well. Okay, with that being said, Israel, I'm going to pass it over to you. You can take over the questions, and I think you have the presentation as well, or you can show the sales page, and then we can, shut it down once you've kind of maxed out our capacity.
Yep, absolutely. I'll take it over now. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Okay, guys, can you give me a 1 in the chat if you see my screen right now? Just drop a quick one and we'll be on our way. Awesome, everyone can see my screen. That's neat. Now, I heard someone ask if they could use their own avatar images in the video. And yes, you can. So remember, I created this video with Neil and myself. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you now. And you can look at how it performs. To make a mark in the digital landscape paid advertising. So there's my image, the one I uploaded, there's Neil image, and pretty much everything. There's closed captions, there's the title of the podcast, there's the title of the episode. So you can pretty much customize this entirely. Joining me here is a true expert in the field, Neil Napier. Neil, it's fantastic to have you on the show. And again, we have templates in all 3 formats. So we have vertical, which means you can publish on long form platforms like YouTube. We also have vertical, which means that you can publish on short form like Instagram, TikTok, and also like YouTube Shorts. And then we also have square format, which is specifically for Instagram and Facebook as well these days, because that's what they're preferring. But you can pretty much create all 3 of those formats in video. Plus, we also are working on a template creator right now, and what that will allow you to do is have your own templates, so you can sort of go in and do your thing. Ellen asks if there can be 2 hosts and 2 guests in a single podcast. So there can only be 1 host, but you can add 3 guests, up to 3 more guests. So in total, 4 people on the podcast, and they can have their dialogues back and forth, and that way you can have like a 4-way conversation in the podcast. Yep. And again, guys, if you have any questions that are directly related to PodGorilla, make sure you send that through to me. I see we still have almost 70 people here, so that's pretty amazing. I'm sure you have some doubts and some questions in your head, and I want to make sure that by the time we walk out of here, you're all cleared on that front. But I also saw quite a few questions about people asking if they could use their own content when it comes to utilizing or creating episodes, and you absolutely can. In fact, we recommend that you do, because when you click on this add episode button and you select a guest, I'm just going to select Neil again here, and let's do one thing. Let's go to my YouTube channel and pick up a YouTube video and try and convert that into a podcast. Let's just run with a smaller one, but not that small. Yeah, maybe this one should be fine. I'm just gonna copy this one, and this is basically a breakdown of starting a new online business and making $2,000 in it. So I'm just gonna call this video, or like YouTube video test. And then in here in the video URL section, you can basically add in your YouTube or Vimeo video URL. And what it does is it basically takes the captions of the video like we do in Content Gorilla, and then it converts it into a full podcast script, right? So that's one way. Again, you also have the ability to upload your own PDF documents and use that as the inspiration. Besides that, if you want to use a blog or something for inspiration, you can also enter a URL and it's gonna fetch the context from there, and then it's going to convert that into a podcast. And again, there's nothing to worry about copyright when you're doing this, because you're using this context that you're giving as inspiration. So there's going to be the podcast that is created, it's going to be inspired by the content that you upload, but it will have no infringement in terms of you know, copyright laws and all. Will there be an integration for talking avatars, lip sync for video podcast? That's basically what the future plan is, right? So what I want to do is, right now, my first focus, it has been to get the audio generation to a level where it's very hard to tell that it's AI. And I think that we're pretty close to that. The next few weeks, we're working on making sure that, you know, there's more realism in the podcast. So right now when I'm talking to you, I'm saying some filler words, right? I'm saying and ahs, and my pitch goes a little higher, my pitch goes a little lower. Those are the things that are currently missing. I'm going to be completely brutally honest, and I'm going to do a brutally honest assessment of myself and the product. And I believe that those things are missing right now. But I would also tell you that we're incredibly close to have those things inside of this as well. So, you know, in the near future, you're going to see how we will have more realism in the audio. And once that part of it is done, the next part will be to go in and start working on the video avatar features. And that's where um, the realism and hyper realism comes in. But again, it's gonna be a tough road to climb, because I mean, I'm sure all of you have seen AI videos, right? They look pretty good, but they're just not super realistic. And I have a really bad pet peeve, because I want things to be super perfect before I hand it to you. And so that's eventually the next step, but it's a little far out. It's a few weeks out. It's not going to be something immediate. If I give you something, I want to ensure that it's something that you can really take and start running with as soon as you have it in your hand. And I don't believe if I pace through it, it's going to help you out at all. Anyway, I have rambled on for too long. Our episode is done. Now, in this description, as you can see, it has fetched the captions, and it shows that in this video, how I convert a modest $70 investment into $2,000 within 3 weeks. So let's go ahead and view this episode. Okay, now that this is episode number 2, as you can see here, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Online Marketing Mavericks. I'm your host, and today I'm joined once again by Neil Napier, an expert online marketer who's been with us on this journey from the start. Neil, great to have you back, right? So you see how that builds up, right? So it's pretty inclined towards the context of the previous episodes, like you would be in a real podcast. And then Neil says thank you, pleasure, and all of that. And then I once again in the dialogue cover that we touched the impact of paid advertising in the last video or the last podcast. And now we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna explore something that's a bit different yet equally captivating, right? So how interesting is that? So it's pretty real. And what I want to do now is I'm just gonna generate these audios. So again, I can show you how hyper realistic it is and how good it sounds, and how much better it would be once we also have the things like pauses and all. In the time that this is generating the audio, I'm just gonna jump in and see the questions. Still did not receive login. Can you please reach out to support@podgorilla.co? Guys, if you have any questions, just or you haven't received your login for some reason, you can reach out to support@podgorilla.co, and our support team is on standby waiting to help you out. Someone's typing another language that I do not understand at all. I'm in. Where do I find all the OTOs and bonuses? All the OTOs and bonuses are on their way to your email inbox. So, take a look at the emails that you're receiving. Does this work in the cloud through a browser? It absolutely does. This is all on cloud. It will work on your iPad as well. May not be as functional on a mobile phone, because of the size of the screen, but on an iPad it will work absolutely fine. Are there credits or limitations per month for length of audio video conversion into the software? 10-minute video versus. Actually, welcome back to another episode. Sorry, I'm gonna start this in a minute. Let me just continue with the questions. So there are no limitations in terms of the size of the video that you want to use. I just use the shorter video because it is a time consuming process. If you use a video that's like 60-minute long, it's gonna take a few minutes to generate the dialogues spoken in the episode, which is why I chose to use a smaller video. Okay, let me see what else. Does this generate show notes, summaries of the podcast like some podcasts have? That's a very good point. I haven't thought of that, and right now it does not. What we do generate is a small description and an episode summary, but that's a pretty good idea. I'll put that on the roadmap, and we'll have that hopefully in the very near future. You use $1,500 as monthly client fee. How many podcasts would you recommend this includes, and how long for each? So again, this comes down to your own preferences. If you're charging $1,500 a month to a client, I would recommend having anywhere around 10 to 15 podcasts. And that's a good number as well, because if you're publishing, say, one podcast every second day, that's much more likely to bring you good results than if you were to, say, publish one a week, right? So again, it comes down to you and what kind of delivery you're promising, but I would recommend it do at least 10 to 15. Is there any limit on an episode length? We have tested the app quite thoroughly. I have tested creating up to 30 minutes of episodes and it works flawlessly. We don't have a limit as of now, but I cannot guarantee that episodes longer than 30 minutes would work as flawlessly as, say, a 45-minute episode, right? But up to 30 minutes, there's nothing you have to worry about. Does the unlimited version include unlimited cloned voice? No, it does not. It includes 10 cloned voices because I will be really honest, it's very expensive to clone the voices, especially with the quality that we have. So yeah. Any way to add sound effects into the audio? So you can add sound effects into intro, outro, and advertisements. In fact, let me just show you that as well in just a moment. But you can't do that in the middle of the podcast or anything, right? So I'll show you how that works in a bit, and then we'll go from there. This can be used to create a course too. Oh, that's a pretty good idea. It can, of course, be used to create a course as well. Anyway, I think that's all the questions. Let's just play a few lines of the podcast that we have here, and then we'll move on to the sound effects part that I want to show. Of Online Marketing Matters. I'm your host, Ijlal Ahmed, and today I'm joined once again. By the way, give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear when I'm playing this audio. Give me a 1 so I know, I'm not just listening to it myself. Okay, awesome. You guys can hear it. Okay, I'm just gonna play 2-3 dialogues and then we'll move on. By Neil Napier, an expert online marketer who's been with us on this journey from the start. Neil, great to have you back again.
Thank you, Islam. It's always a pleasure to be here and dive into these fascinating topics with you. How's everything going on your end?
Things are fantastic, Neil. I'm really excited about today's discussion. Last time, we touched on the impact of paid advertising. And today, I want us to switch gears and explore something a bit different yet equally captivating.
Absolutely. I hear we have a very interesting case study to dive into today.
By the way, did you notice how, it already changes the pitch and the delivery of the message depending on how the sentence ends? So right now, there's a question mark and it actually sounds like a question, right?
Yes, indeed. Grew into $2,000 in just 3 weeks. A prime example of effective online marketing.
That's nothing short of remarkable. Turning $70 into $2,000 is a dream scenario for many starting out. What's the main strategy that facilitated such growth?
Hopefully that gives you guys a good idea on what kind of episodes and podcasts you can generate with PodGorilla. Hopefully that clears out anything else that was left. Let me just see what other questions. I guess I should ask, are there any bonuses today that come along with today's purchase? Actually, there are quite a lot. Let me see if I can pull them up on the slide. But Neil's usually the expert in here. Yeah, so here's the exclusive bonuses that are available on just the webinar itself. You can read that through here. I'm going to move on and see. With the music, can you ask it to play a specific piece like Bach? Well, you can't really, so, that would really put you into trouble with copyright stuff as well. So, I'm not sure if that's actually a good idea doing, but the music that AI generates is completely in your control. You can tell it what kind of it you want, what instruments you want, and all of that stuff. Can you get some famous people voices like Donald Trump or public figure for us to use in parodies without copyright liability issues? Honestly, I don't really think that's a good idea. I would only recommend using voices that you have the right to clone. Do not go into celebrities and all. It's just not worth it, to be honest. What about music copyright? Again, this is completely AI generated, so there is nothing to worry about when you generate music within PodGorilla. If limit is 10 clone voices for clients, can I buy cloning credits? Yes, you can. Not yet, but we'll have that add-on in the future, so you can go and pick that up if you want. Can it import Todd Gross synthesis voices? That's a good point. I may discuss it with Todd if that's something he'd like to collaborate on, but as of right now, it doesn't. So I don't have all those. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean here. Does it show how you do what? Does it show you how to create thumbnails per podcast? We do have a training on that as well, as a bonus. So you do get that. And yes, this is available today. So anyway, guys, I think that's all of the questions. It's been an excellent session. I thank you all for showing up here. Again, if you are still on the fence, I highly recommend you jump on and grab the bundle. Bilal, if you could just once more drop the link for the final time. And for everyone that's on the fence, we have a 14-day money back guarantee. You can go and try it out. If you hate it, you can ask us for a refund. We absolutely honor our refund policy, but typically our products have less than 5% refund rate, and that's after like 25,000 sales. I'm talking about Content Gorilla here. So I'm pretty sure that you're gonna absolutely love it. If you don't, well, actually, let me just pull my webcam on. So I can actually see, well, not see, but show myself. Okay. Hey everyone. So yeah, just gonna wrap this up here. But again, if you guys have still any more questions, please let me know. I'm happy to sit here for a bit more and go on and show you everything. So I'll show you guys something. Inside the speakers, we have about 100 AI speakers, and these are across different kinds of niches and different kinds of genders and age group, right? So we have voices sorted by childish, young adult, adult, middle-aged, senior. Then we have it sorted by male, female, and then we have them sorted by niches. And we have quite a lot. If you want to say have something like an Irish guy, we probably have that as well. I'll just play this and see if that's similar. I think this one is. No, this one is not. I think what we can also do is like add tags to them. So, you know, depending on the kind of person.
He smiled warmly and welcomed them inside. Please review the document before our next meeting.
So, you know, there are quite a few accents in here that you can use. And again, you have 100 speakers here, and each one have something unique about them. They all have different kinds of expertises. Of course, they're all AI, but basically we have given each and every single one of them a background, because when you use them in a specific podcast episode, they bring their own expertise into the episode itself. Reminder list. How long do I have to still get the webinar special today? Well, you have a few minutes. It will be until probably like 30-40 more minutes until we discuss the details with Neil. I cannot guarantee any longer after that, but yeah, I guess that's it. Again, guys, if you haven't jumped on, this special pricing that is available right now on the webinar is not going to be available, probably not going to be available after we hop off. I'll still try to keep it up there for at least 30 minutes. So if you're still on the fence, you can go through our page and, you know, see everything that you're getting today. But besides that, that's it for this session. I have had a great time. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. If you still have any questions, feel free to email to support@podgorilla.co, and our support team will be more than happy to answer your questions out. With that being said, I'm going to log off now. Thank you so much for joining, and we will catch you around.